Before the webinar begins, rename your Zoom name to your complete name and department and/or affiliation so that we can easily identify you. Kindly mute your microphone when not in use. Next, switch on your video if your connectivity allows you. If you have questions with regards to the presentation, there will be an open forum right after. Please type it in the chat box or use the raise hand reaction button in Zoom and unmute yourself. The session is video recorded. Recordings will be made available at the Silliman Online University Learning website. Heavenly Father, we come to you in this hour, asking for your guidance and protection to our virtual gathering today. We thank you for the gift of life, the gift of family, the gift of work, and the gift of friendship. We thank you for this great opportunity to bring us together in this session as brothers and sisters. Bless the committee, the facilitator, and the attendees of this gathering. May we continue to value and appreciate the true essence and meaning of life with the help of your grace. And as we go along to our discussion today, we humbly pray that you would deepen our understanding. Lord, enlighten us and give us wisdom every day. Forgive us for our shortcomings and remind us to always be mindful of the things we do in life. We offer our life and our decisions to you, O Lord. May this gathering today create a memorable experience and a fruitful outcome. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, our Redeemer and our Savior. Amen.
Good day, everyone. Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you give a virtual thumbs up if you can hear me clearly? Okay, thank you very much. So by the way, good day. I am Fredly Bukog, your training specialist at the Office of Silliman Online University Learning. For today's session, we will do the upscaling online teaching with K+3. So here, I will show to you the AM session and PM session for the training. So next slide, please. Okay, here is the AM session. We will start by 8:30 to 9:30. We will talk about online teaching strategies, planning, and preparation by Dr. Dave E. Marshall. And 9:30 to 11, organizing resources to stimulate interaction. Basically, we have two subtopics. We have understanding the book, the URL, the restriction and completion, and we have the PLD, or the personalized learning designer, by yours truly. And we have the H5P for part 1 in the morning session by Mr. Jade Montemayor. And we will end with the AM session with showcasing our virtual classroom, our MySol virtual classroom by Mom Gladys Divina Alcantara. And for our PM session, so we will start by 1:30. 1:30 to 3:30, it's animating worksheet and instruction. We have two subtopics: using PPT to animate worksheet and other content and delivery by Assistant Professor Alpi Arcelo, and basic animation and pre-recording your instruction by Dr. Dave Marshall. And by 3:30 to 4, another showcasing of virtual classroom or MySol virtual classroom by Ma'am Betsy May Partosa. And we will end the session by PM session. Next slide. Okay. By 5, we will talk about the tools and strategies to increase engagement. We have two subtopics: a learner to MySol interaction, learner to learner interaction, learner to teacher interaction during synchronous session by Dr. Dave Marshall. And the last part for H5P, we have part 2 by Mr. Jade Montemayor. So next slide. So here I will give the floor to our director for Suleiman Online University Learning and to give his welcome remarks or opening remarks and then start of the training. So he will be our first resource speaker, Dr. Dave E. Marshall. Dr. Dave?
Thank you, Fred, and good morning, everyone. Hi to, I think the team is headed by Ma'am Myla. Ma'am, good morning, and of course to all our teachers. The more the merrier, actually, although we design our training for today, our inset training for today for K3, but if there are others who would like to listen, to join, we are all free. I mean, they can come in and then be a listener or a passive participant and just to get some tips. And of course, I would like to thank our two invited guests from the elementary department. At last, I win the heart of Ma'am In, no? Dugay nagay kung sigig panguyab aning maka-showcase sa iyahang virtual classroom, but at least at last today na amo gud siyang napasugot, napauo jud siya namo to showcase her virtual classroom. It's nice to have some showcases kay para makaingon tang pang soul raman na siya nga design because we strategize our training design today that at the level of not for soul team ang design but really for teachers nga medyo dili ingon na ana ka techie, no? So that's for our discussion for today, and our training design today is basically a jump start, and I want you to help us also on how to further design and develop the training uh what is this our training activities for K3. And just to give you some topics that may spark up your interest, then we can proceed with future inset nga very tailor lang. Let's say for example, pang kinder 1 ra jud siya, pang kinder 2 ra gyud siya, or pang grade 1, pang grade 2, or pang grade 3. Good morning to Ma'am Ethel. I saw Ma'am Ethel here. Ma'am Ethel Borgos.
Good morning, Sir Dave.
Good
Salamat.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, and medyo daghan-daghan. It's nice. Okay, so sa giingon na ni Sir Fredly, I will start the discussion on trying to revisiting what we have done because mga 2 years na taan no? And then naay kinahanglanon na tong i-improve, and I think it's not an excuse anymore nga bag-o pa man good ko, no? Kay murag kinahanglan na natong i-improve kay mo 3 years na tapuhon niya, even if mag-limited face-to-face ta, dili man mausob ang ato ang preparation and planning. Okay? Hi to Ma'am Gina. Good morning, Ma'am Gina.
Hi, good morning. Maayong buntag.
Good. Maing buntag. Let's have a coffee, no? Coffee. This is my coffee. So, coffee para sa tanan. Para energize ang ato ang Monday. Let me share my screen. Okay. Have to show it first and use my tab and share screen. Oops, marag di mao ako napakita. Just hold on. And then share screen na lang. Nakita ra akong slides? Fred?
Yes, Doc.
Okay. So, online teaching strategies, planning, and preparation. This is just very quick. Highlights lang ni siya actually in our planning and preparation. Some of you may hear these slides, but just try to revisit this because we feel that kinahanglan nato ning balikan kay it's time to reflect na kung unsa man jud tinuod ba jud tang ga ODL, basun dili ta ODL, basun modular lang ta pero ato rang gigamit ato ang my soul, no? So kana siya ato na siyang balikan because technically na ay mga technical description of an ODL na apoy technical description og modality, no? And even pedagogy. So highlight lang ni siya in terms of planning and preparation that I think kinahanglang i-revisit for us to improve our online teaching strategies. The first one is we have to check, we have to plan, prepare, and revisit for sure na naman taani, no? Let's try to revisit the design of our instructional materials. Mao ni ako ang giingon nga tinuod ba jud ang ODL basun og gakuan lang ta blended learning nga modality or basun ga ODL basun ga modular lang ta or siguro full na jud ta no tinuod na jud ta nga full online distance learning. Mao ni siya, it's actually called the enhancement versus transformation model or the SAM-R, no? So unsa man ni sila? Basically ang delivery in an online distance learning duha na siya ka level na gitawag nga enhancement na po na siya gitawag nga transformation, and each of these either enhancement ba or ato bang gi-transform in layman good, no? Mura ra siya og unsa man ato ang instructional material, ato ra bang gigamit ato ang karaan nga material like PowerPoint or worksheet, and then ato ra ba na siyang gi-scan and then atong gi-upload, no? Or from our old worksheet, ato siyang giusob, gi-transform siya nato kay ato siyang gi-automate and then gibutangan nato siya og digital flavor. Mauna siya ang simple nga pag-explain. But let me present to you one by one unsa ng mga enhancement, unsa pud ni siyang transformation. Let's start first with substitution. Kaning enhancement man good, acceptable ni siya katong transition process katuning naglibog patag wa pata kaila unsa gunang synchronous, wa pata kaila og asynchronous, katong wala pata kailag unsa ng LMS, no? So mao guni ang pinakauna nga stage, substitution ang nahitabo. Substitution means replacing traditional activities and materials like in-class lecture or paper worksheets with digital version. there is no substantial change to the content, just the way that is delivered. So kung baga, gigamit lang nato ang technology kay para wala na sila face to face. Dili na sila mukuha sa worksheet and dili na pud sila mo deliver sa worksheet or dili na mo submit si parent kay para dili na pud mo distribute si teacher. Naalay usa ka digital repository like ang atong gibuhat naa sa Google Drive. So maunang naay portal na atay may soul para makaadto sila dito sa atuang repository. So in other words, ginagamit ra jud nato ang technology as a means of delivery. Okay? There is no change in the functions and in the content. It's just simply giscan and then nangita lang tagpaagi para walay face-to-face. That is called substitution. Okay, so technology act as a direct substitute with no functional change. Another example, like sa higher ed, no? Sa higher ed, kay higher ed naman jud ko gatudlo. Ako ang PowerPoint, the same ra nga ako ang gigamit. Wala na ako gi-change. Katong ako ang 140 slides, o ako rang gidiretso og upload. Bahala na mo magka-problema mo kung maka-download mo ana 140 slides with all the videos. No, substitution na siya. Acceptable jud na siya during the time sa transition. Katubitang naglibog na ta, hala, magsugod na tag klase unsaon gud ni siya. No, that's substitution. The second is called augmentation. Augmentation, this is a type of instructional designing that incorporate na interactive digital enhancement like comments, naanay hyperlink, naanay multimedia, and then the content remains unchanged, but students now can take advantage of the digital features to enhance the lesson. So, augmentation, level up ni siya gamay, pero wala gihapon ni siya i-change sa content. Giscan na gihapon ang content, and then instead nga ang submit is via email, dili na naana sa ato ang my soul ang submission. Augmentation pa na siya, no? Or naana tay mga video nga ato nang gipamutangan og mga hyperlink, and then maka-forum na, maka-comment na si parent ug ma'am, asa guning na very nice, or maka-discuss na ang parent for the K to 3, or kato na sigurong grade 3 nga maka-type na sila, maka-comment na pud sila. So there is augmentation. The technology part is delivery plus interaction. Ana siya, mauna gitawag og augmentation. Wala pa gihapon gi-modify ang content. I mean, when I say modify, pwede mangguta mo ingon no, amo magud nang gi-modify sir kay from face to face nga pwede na siya online, dili na siya mao. The modification that I mentioned is from the content gi-adjust siya kay naa siya technology. So for example, ako lang na ihatag example later on. That's augmentation. Okay, makita man nato no, substitution and then augmentation. Ang medyo advanced na ani siya nga we hope na in the future school year or in the coming school year moabot na jud ta siya sa transformation stage. Kaning transformation stage duha pud ni sila. Mao ni gitawag og modification. No, mao na ni akong giingon. Technology allows for significant task redesign. So at this level, teachers think about using MySoul, our learning management system, to handle the logistical aspects of running a classroom, tracking the grades, messaging the students, creating a calendar, posting the assignment, and then checking, of course, the assignment, reminding the students, and all those interaction. Gi-modify na nato. So for example, instead nga si worksheet, ato lang siyang iscan and then i-upload kay either substitution or augmentation na siya, dili na. Si worksheet, ato siyang gi-modify, gibutang na nato siya sa H5P or ato na siyang gihimuan og PowerPoint nga didto mo interact si students. Mag-tap-tap-tap lang ba ang kinder or ang grade 1, 2, and 3. That's modification. Gi-change ang content because there is technology. So for example, in a video format nga instructional material. Instead nga ang substitution is nag-record lang ta, kids, how you do this is our kuan, no? Substitution na gid na siya ang nahitabuan na kay instead nga mag-live ka, imo ra na siyang gi-record. But in the modification is dili. Ang modification is moingon ka, "Hi kids, this is how to draw." And then you have the camera pointing it. And then, naakay mga designs dito, gipang tapot. Meaning, the recording is not just simply telling or narrating, but you are also illustrating. You change the content. You even change your narratives because you wanted to the technology. O, let's say, for example, pag-record. Did you see this? Ana ka, pag-record. Pero, naay picture mo gawas dito. No? Or maingon ka, what is the color or how many sides are the triangle? So hunong ka and then mugawas imuhang triangle. And then ay interaction, pwede mo post ka gamay kay para mo interact si student orally, verbally. 3. Very good. So hunong na pud ka, then padayon ka. And then another content ang mugawa sa imuhang PowerPoint. So you are changing your material, not just simply scanning it. No? So later on, si Sir Jade, si Ma'am Alfie, i-discuss na namo og unsaon ang modification nga part, no? Unsaon ang modification. So modification na siyang worksheet among giscan, among gibutang sa PowerPoint. And then amo siyang gibasa, dili substitution or augmentation ra na sila kay gi-augment ra nato ang delivery. Pero what if sir worksheet giscan and then amo siyang gipang crop sir, then gipang animate using PowerPoint, modification ba na siya? Yes, modification na siya. Anong modification man? It is because na change naman, na modify naman ang task sa estudyante. Okay? But of course, I am very aware nga perhaps our intention is really the students would want to write by handwriting instead of just tapping, or siguro for the very lower level, dili pa ka-type, but for sure they can tap, no? They can tap and they can interact. Okay, that's modification level. Another is, ang pinakakuan na gyud kaning medyo advanced na ni sila, read definition. So technology allows for the creation of new tasks previously inconceivable. Redefinition, kadto na gyud ni siyang advanced, let's say for example, na anay mga learning journeys, katong mga PLD, nga lahi na ang like naay mga learning journey according to the performance of the students, no? Integration of PLD, gamit ang mga restriction, ang mga notification, ang PLD, what else? All those, and looking at the logs. So kato siya tanan. Redefinition na siya kay aside sa imuhang gi-change ang content with all the technology integration, mo create siya og task, automatically ma-automate niya. For example, kung ang imuhang score below 80% o group 1 ka ha, kay mauni inyuhang activity, dili ikaw ang mo-set ana. Ang atuang my soul, kaya ba na siya? Oo, kaya gina siya, mga ma'am and sir, nga pwede siya pang K+3. So, redefinition component ang tawag. So, if you will ask me, sir, unsa man ko'y pinakamaayo ana? Depende, no? Depende ra jud na nato. Number 1 is in town nato ang skill. Pinaka number 1 ko ng challenge. Acceptable jud na siya in many literature. Skills gid na siya. Hinay-hinay na lang tagkat-on og unsaon kay kung gabalik-balik ra pud na siya and then wala na to na siya gi-improve, I think lahi po na siya nga story. But I think kinahanglan natong hinay-hinayon og improve, no? Kinahinayon nato og improve, and of course relative to or appropriate to the learning outcomes nga ato ang gustong mahitabo in a certain topic. Kay this refers to instructional material man. Okay? By the way, if you have questions, feel free to type, no? Feel free to type at the chat box kay para akong ma-integrate sa kung ang discussions kay medyo taas-taas ta kung mo spend pa ta og another Q&A. Of course, we can have a separate time for Q&A, but better if butang na ninyo inyong questions sa chat. Kung dili man gani everyone, pwede na pud og to me. And kung to me gani, I will not read your name. Okay? Sige. So, if wala tay pangutana, that's my first tip. Balikan nato ato ang instructional material substitution ra ba? Kung substitution ra ba, did I commit mortal sin? Dili, wa man pod. After all, that's part of instructional material designing in an ODL. Kana. Pero ato ra jud lang taon kanang naapabadyoy way. After all, we are doing this so that masupport na to ang achievement sa learning outcome sa atong mga estudyante. Basog na apay better way kung substitution lang ang ato ang nahimo. Basin pwede pang a little augmentation. Basog kaya pa jud si modification, which we feel amo jud ning gimitingan, no? Kaning outline, nag-meeting jud mi ani, murag whole day jud ning meeting namo. So we feel nga kaya ra jud, no? Kaya ra jud ning buhaton even until aning modification level. So kana. Ikaduha nga ako ang tip is from the instructional material design, assuming naka-decide na tano, modification ko. Kay murag nice man si modification kay nabiya tay very robust nga my soul. And then naa si Sir Fredly nga maka-assist. No, ako na pud sir. Dili of course naa si Ma'am Alfie, naa si Sir Jade, naa si Ma'am Lisa, naa si Sir John, even Ma'am Cindy, makatabang na nato na sila. So what is next? Ang next na pud nato ani is ang amount na pod atong preparahan ang amount of the classroom interactivity. Kay bason og ma-associate man ninyo actually later on, no? Ngano man nga kanang kung ano gid siya, kanang linear lagid siya, mag-up si teacher og material, mag-download si learner or si parent, and then mag-submit. Ana ra gid siya. It's because substitution ang ito ato ang gi-imagine. Wala ta ka nahuna nga naa pa di ay daghang angle when we talk about interactivity in an online or in a virtual classroom, no? So this is basically time pa mura magdabinata ko, no? Pero okay ra pud siguro, I feel good. So the amount of classroom interactivity. So ako nahuna murag estudyante, ako ang katukuan, sorry. Sige. So the amount of interactivity, the first one is napo na siya mga stages. So ang stages ani ako po ni siyang gi-adapt from the very most popular 5-stage model of online learning in terms of the amount of interactivity. And then kaning amount of interactivity pwede din natong lantawon asa tandapita makawin sa heart sa ato ang mga learners. Kay dili man pud ni siya actually tanan, no? Medyo lisudaghan kay nigbantayan. Mahinumdom ko sa among dialogue ni Ma'am In. Naara ni tanan sir, pero mag-spend jud kag so much time in the preparation. Pero after once ma-put up na argi na siya. I mean, ma-reuse na siya. In other words, you need time for the preparation. So the amount of classroom interactivity, the first one is we should look at interactivity of the access of our students, no? Especially during the introduction part, which are all prerequisite in an online participation. In other words, klaruhon nato ang setup, which pang fourth na ako ni siyang i-further explain later. Ako lang gimin ani is the amount of classroom interactivity in terms of access and motivation. How are we sending notification to students nga, uy, naamoy submission, murag nalimot ka og pasa og assignment. no? Kana, no? Wala ta ka-encourage siguro kay once ma-upload na ng assignment, okay, bahala ra mo diha. Di na ako mo check, di na ako mag-monitor kung nakasubmit mo or wala, no? So nagpadala batag mga ingon ana, no? And then kung na perfect ang bata, nag-send batag mga smiley or mga emoticons nga heart 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 or love 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 or very good kid, no? Or even nakapadala ba ta og mga video nga once na perfect niya, pwede kang moingon, "Yeah, very good, kid." Ingon ana, pwede jud na siya. Kay di man na kinahanglan nimong mag-atang jud kag kinsay na perfect. Pwede man na with the power of restriction, PLD, and all the condition. Kaya na, sir, kaya. Si Sir Jade will tell you. I think si Sir Fredley ang musulti ninyo, ana. That's access and motivation. Or muingon ka nga, wa na jud ni mag-access ning parent ani kay murag kausa ra jud ni siya mo access once a week ra jud ini ka Sabado ra jud kay Domingo man ang submission. Domingo man ang submission, so murag kada Sabado ra jud ni si mama or si papa mo access, no? So siguro mag-set na pud ka, maglantaw na sad kag PLD. So sa imong PLD, if mo access lang once a week o mopadala ka, "Hi ma'am and sir or parent, we have uploaded. We encourage you to perform the worksheet every day." So, something like that. So mag-atang dai jud ko ana, sir, mag-check dai jud ko ana, mag-monitor dai jud ko pagkadaghan 20 ka buok na akong estudyante tagsa-tagsaon jud nako nag-check ng log, dili, no? Dili. Ang tubag is dili. Mag-set ra ka ana og PLD, no? Mag-set ra ka ana og PLD, imuhang message unsa imuhang mga conditions. So, pwede na to nang buhaton. That's the interaction in terms of access and motivation. So kung naana tay mga gradu-graduhanay pod, pwede pod. O let's say for example, na-set ang grade book, no? Siguro ang grade mga K3 siguro na grading system, no? And then natay mga grade sheets or grade book. Paglantaw nga murag wa jud kaabot ni, wa jud ni siya katungtong og 80%, o mopadala diretso og message, no? Nga you have to work hard because ang imuhang assignment maura ni imuhang naabot 84%. No? So, pwede nang buhaton magtagsa-tagsa na pug ko ana, sir. Wala na ko'y love life ana. Dili jud na, ma'am and sir, di jud na tagsa-tagsaon. Restriction, PLD, checking the grade and setting the grade book ra gid na siya. That's stage 1. Another interactivity nga ato ang lantawon is the so-called socialization, no? So, socialization is familiarizing and providing bridges between cultural, social, and the learning environment. In other words, kanang I think kabalo siguro tano self-explanatory, establishing our online identities and then finding others to whom they interact. Siguro na miss out nato ang providing platform for learner to learner. Kay naa sa atong hunahuna wala man gud mi diha all the time, but the reality is kinahanglan jud silang makailapod sa ilang mga classmates, especially in the lower years. In the reality, parents are talking to each other. In fact, siguro na ang parent na anay Facebook group para mag-interact sila. So, kung nahitabo naman daay na, why not providing that kind of platform and include that into your strategy? Kay para mag-contextualize, para pwede na to siyang ma-appeal sa ato ang learning outcomes. No? So, kita ang maghatag og opportunity for the parents to interact para official rather than nag-istorya ra daay sila didto and then nagkopyaanay ra hinuon or gapasa-pasa gi-edit-edit lang, no? Kana example lang na ako pero bayab jud ko kabalog tinuod na. So involves individual participants. It's really more of providing opportunity kung dili pa man gani, of course makakuan kay parental guidance man, of course ning ato ang K3. Let's provide the one who will access into it, the parents, no? As a way nga maka-interact sila. Kay baso nang ato ang nahitabo, we are just too focused of me to the student individually talking, No, basun ka na ang ato ang na-focus kay nakulbaan na taan ng tag 40 ka estudyante in a classroom or tagpulo in a one live session. Yeah, lisod na kay na siyang i-manage. It's really true. Lisod gyud na siya. That's why I salute mga K3 teachers, especially kanang mag-manage na in a real-time video session. The third consideration when we prepare our classroom interactivity is the information exchange. This is where how we facilitate tasks and supporting use of learning materials. So say for example, the searching, what are the tools, no? Here, learners engage in mutual exchange of information up to and including stage 3, a form of cooperation occurs whereby each person supports the other participant's goal. It may not be dili kaayo ni siya makita in the K to 3 siguro kay parental guidance, di pa kabalo mang click siguro sila kay ang parent pa or ang guardian pa ang nag-click. Ang importante lang ani nga part is there is really room for information exchange of the one who access the LMS or the virtual classroom para ato pong makaparticipate pod ang mga kids. So, kay imagine ko say for example na ay room nga maka-exchange og greetings ang mga bata, mag-post didto, no? And then or naay room instead naay discussion forum nga, oh by the way discussion forum dili ra man gud na pwede dili ra man gud text ra ng discussion forum, pwede man gud na siyang video. So for example, discussion forum maingon ang bata, what is the color of my hair? That's a video, no? I-post ni bata dito. Then, pwede po mo react og video ang kids. The color of the hair is black. So, something like that. There is a room for information exchange among our learners. Kaya ba na siya, sir? Kaya. Just a simple discussion forum and then students can just upload the video. Okay? What else? The last, second to the last, stage 4 in terms of the amount of classroom interactivity is knowledge construction. This is now the real time or this is now the mga group discussions, no? Group discussions develop, the interaction becomes more collaborative, knowledge construction, and working towards a group goal. So collaboration requires an active sharing of informal information and intellectual resources among the participants. It's really more of providing opportunity for group work. Kana gid siya, sir, pwede ba kana siya sa K3 kanang mag-group work, no? Pwede ko kaayo. Maghimo lang po ta group activity nga pang-ana nila. Basta maka-interact lang ang mga kids. After all, again, naman ang mga parents, na may mga guardian. So, part sa atong instruction nga naay-ingon ana kay under parental guidance man. So, pwede na to sila tagaan para lang jud ang importante kani siya nga stage in terms of interactivity, students can interact not just simply on socialization, not just simply on information exchange, but on the production or construction of knowledge. So, say for example, okay, group 1, build a house. Okay, one kid should be able to draw a window. The other kid will draw the blah blah blah, no? So example lang na ako so ingon ana that ang kalainan sa 3 and 4, ang 3 is just simply exchange of information while 4 is each learner will contribute to formulate one product. Okay, that's na knowledge construction interactivity. Ang pinakakuan is really the development. No? Participants look for more benefits from the system to help them achieve personal goals and reflect on the learning process. So, kato na ning sophisticated, daghan na ning mga tools gamiton, mag-live, mag-zoom, at the same time na ay mga recording, and then magamit na ni og mga Google link or Google Docs for the sharing, and then naanay mga annotations, medyo taas na siya, no? So ako pod dili sa pwedeng dili sa ni especially in the K+3 kay lisod ni siyang himuon for lower years kay naa naman gud ni siya independency or the self-paced learning kanang development interactivity. Okay? So pili ta when we talk about classroom interactivity, pili ta asa man ta mo focus, access motivation ba, online socialization ba, information exchange or the knowledge construction. Kung medyo abtik na ta or hanas na ta or familiar na ta sa access and motivation, adto na punta sa online socialization. Mangita tag way the students can interact to each other, learners can interact to each other. Kung medyo kulang pa ta sa motivation nga part and encouraging, which based mo ang research mo ay medyo kulang, no? So basun kinahanglan diha. Ato sang hanason ato ang self anang mga PLD, mga reminder, mga notification and everything. Okay? Para maka-interact yun mismo dito sa ato ang my soul. Our soul is our my soul is a robust technology. Let's maximize into it. The third is the synchrony distribution. We have to plan and prepare the distribution of our online communication synchrony. Mainumdum ko sa una naglalis jutaan ng unsa gud nang synchronous, unsa nang asynchronous, and then nangutana pa unsa gud ta sir remote teaching ta dili, no? So lahi po ng remote teaching because remote teaching is heavily synchronous. Walay async po ng remote, is just basically substitution nga model na siya. So wala kay mga submissions live, sige ra kag zoom, no? Karon going to third year naman ta, di po kumaingon nga may mature na ta aning online, medyo kinahanglan sigurong erase na nato ato ang level. Dapat dugangan nato kanang atong nahibal-an nga synchronous and asynchronous. Ato nang i-combine and making it so-called bicronous learning. Asynchronous in a synchronous activity or synchronous activity in a asynchronous activity. No? So, again, this is the amount of online learning varies from the course and included in the course. And then, mauna siya. Kay siguro focus lang ta sa during the synchronous and the asynchronous. Di na takabaluon sa nahitabo in between synchronous and asynchronous. So, sudla nato, injika nato, maghatag tag activity synchronous nga pwede na sila asynchronous during that time or synchronous nga time nag-live ka Zoom pero mo-post ka gamay kay na ay async, no? Or during your async na ay part dito nga mag-real time sila. Unsaon man na siya sir, gamit jud gihapon nato atong mga H5P and PLD and others. Okay, so just to review, so when we talk about full asynchronous, so anytime, anywhere, and then advantages, learn at our own time, and then no scheduling conflict. While for synchronous is this is like the use of the Zoom, our BBB, and others. So muna akong giingon nga in the bicronous, it's a combination of async and synchronous. Then part in the synchronous distribution, dili lang na siya i-reflect nato in the enrollment schedule, ato gina siyang i-reflect in our learning plan or ato na siyang i-reflect in the curriculum guide, diba? Teaching guide or curriculum guide or whatsoever, or learning plan in general. So, dapat every topic, kabaluta, pila man ka oras, pila man ka minutes ang asynchronous, pila pod ka minutes ang asynchronous, no? Just to give you an example, how I do my class, in all my topics, para makabalo sa estudyante nga, dili siya short, wala na ako siya gi-shorten, dili nga, and then dapat makabalo po si students nga wala pong kumanubra sa ako ang oras. Everything is computed to me, no? Even ka na mga reading materials, ako nang gi-calculate kung mubasa ko or slow readers, pila man ni sila. And then po ako nang i-compute kay para kung lecture lang, dapat enough gyud ko both synchronous and asynchronous, enough ra gyud in 54 hours. And then for laboratory kana, no? Kay remember mao man to ang time nga ang estudyante mental health and etc. sobraan, wala na tulog. Kay sige hatag og asynchronous si teacher unya. Wala kabalo si teacher nga to perform one activity will entail 4 hours. Unya, 7 ka subject. Wa na. Wa na love life ang parent. Kaya ang parent man ang muhimo. So, something like that. So, dapat ato dyan ng computo, no? Let's even siguro sa lower year kanang manghatag-tag mga performance task. Dapat kabaluta pila man jud na ka hours. Kay bason og dili lang kana ang subject, no? Well, of course for the lower year makabalo jud ta og pila tanan na siya nga subject. Pila man daay ang contact hours dapat ani nga subject. Dapat mahibal-an and dapat klaro na nato. Dili kay gahimo na ta og kuan, gahimo na ta og activity, uta kabalo pila man ni ka oras himuon. And then in town ng estudyante 5 ka buok performance task in a week. And then ang usa ka performance task at least 5 hours. Wala na, no? So mao nang dili makaapas og submit. Kung nakasubmit man gani wala na ma-internalize ang process kay gidali-dali na lang. Okay? Muna akong gimin with synchrony distribution. We have to plan it well, prepare it well, reflect it, compute it, and so on. No? So, na ako'y mga ingon ani in my class kay one time ang my students accused me nga murag sobra ano jud kaayo ni mo mga requirements, sir. Ngayon ko, dara mao ni nahitabo na to. Week 1, nag-pre-recorded ko 2.06 minutes na ako'y required reading. Ang first anak nga material, basahon na nimo ingon anak kay video na siya. Then mag-quiz ka, intended na siya 15 minutes and so on and so forth. So kabalo sila nga even if online ko, wala sila madihado in terms of the time, in terms of my contact. So pwede po na nato nabuhaton in the K3, no? Klarohon nato how much time is needed to this. Pwede manggud mo ingon nga dapat natin mga instruction later on ato po nang ikuan nga how to interact. Like this worksheet, this performance task will allow you to make in at least 1 hour. So something like that, no? Atong klarohon because in giving instruction in ODL, ang importante is duration and the tool. Mao na pinaka-importante. Dili na to i-assume nga kay in face-to-face, anak manggod tanong sa face-to-face, do this, anak raman, bahala na mo diya. And then in the ODL, dili man tanan techie. So kinahanglan dili pud techie si teacher. So kinahanglan i-prepare para kung pangutanon si teacher, makabalo pud si teacher kung unsay buhaton or unsay technology buhaton ana. Or usahay ato nang gi-assume nga okay, pag submit ana, ato nang gi-assume kapsyaro kabalo na ng parent ana, no? Okay, what's next? My last is actually the virtual classroom organization. This is where we have to plan out and really prepare how our virtual classroom will look like. No? Siguro ato ang experience during the transition is nagpa-training mi ninyo and then miingon dayon mi bring your syllabus and blah blah blah. Kabalo gud ming dili pag dito siya angay kay the syllabus was face to face and then okay, do this. Paglingkod, upload ma'am, upload, no? So wala jud nato gi-plan out. Karon ato na siyang balikan, no? Atong planuhon how our virtual classroom will look like. Gusto ba ta nga nakalinya ra tanan because that is comfortable to us as a teacher? And then or gusto ba ta nga nakalinya lang tanan because that's what we think the student is most comfortable, no? And then naka-interact ba ta to the students using that kind of setup in our virtual classroom? Nagamit ba ta og mga standa naabay look and feel and uniformity sa ato ang mga content or sa ato ang mga images, sa ato ang visual, mo na siya akong pasabot diha, no? Virtual classroom. Let me share with you based on study, the LMS influenced the design and pedagogy of online courses. So our design in particular plays really a major role in how effective and successful our course will be. A simple process is like this. Plan, we have to plan, we have to design, and then build, and then deliver, and then review. Ako personally, naapa ko yung mga drawing ana. Oh. Mao ni ako ang section. And then each of the section, naka-ingon ani akong forma. Ang unang mugawas, na ako'y video introduction. And then sunod sa akong introduction, nakabook ko kay ingon ana, no? Iplano gud na siya. Dili pwede nga diretso kag lingkod and then navigate hadtud to nagkalandrakas ang ato ang content and resources in our virtual classroom. Na ay link, makita pa jud ang link, and then pag-click pa jud sa link, nawala ang virtual classroom kay wala gi-check tong open a new tab, naglibog na pud si parent or si kid, asa naman to pangitao, nawala man, no? So, ingon na dapat nakaplano ang how our virtual classroom will look like. Navigation is also very, very important. Like, unsa man nato ang ganahan, magtuyok-tuyok ba? Click this. Pag-click, mugawas no? Pagawas pa jud na pa jud giingon, click one more time. Navigation na siya. Na ay mga ingon ana amo nakit-an no diya sa virtual classroom. Ingon man good mo sir nga butangan og image thumbnail. So pag-click dito sa thumbnail, mi open dito sa page. Pag abot sa page kay YouTube link man di ay click here to open the video. Nganong wala na laman giusa. No? So that is called navigation. The rule of thumb here, the lesser the click, the better. Maori na siya. The lesser the click, the better. The lesser the opening of tab, the better. No? Rather than daghan kay kag ipang click. Maboard na si parent or maboard na ang bata asa na pangitaon unya. Kung dili pa ta hanas in town anang right click open in a new tab ng mga parent or mga bata, dili jud na no magkawala-wala, mawala asa naman to, asa na to pangitaon and others, no? So make sure check all the hyperlinks can be seen clearly and direct learners to the correct link. Sometimes manggod kaning navigation very kuani siya dependent ni siya sa teacher kay kung si teacher feeling niya organized na niya sa side sa estudyante dili na siya organized, naamang gud tay gitawag nga online behavior, no? Lahi ang behavior, lahi ang clicking behavior sa mga bata ug I'm sorry, there is a difference. Niyo na lang nako, no? There is a difference in terms of clicking behavior sa edad, no? Ang mga batan-on lahi na ilahang clicking behavior, ang mga dili kaayo batan-on lahi po na ilahang clicking behavior. So pili ta. So considering in the K3 usually parent man ang mo access diha. So let's just think, no? Nakakuha ba tag profile sa ato ang mga parent, no? Technological profile sa mga parent. Kay whether we like it or not, parent yun ang mo access, di ba? Mo log in, mo kuan sa ilahang password, no? So if kuan man ka collaboration with the parent, dapat we have to include the parent in terms of their technological preparation also, because that will, I feel that will also work so that the parent also can relay and interact that to the children. Okay, intuitive, simple to use. So it has to be simple, it has to be consistent, no? Kay para ma-reduce ang anxiety and improve, because research shows nga katag gani kuno nga VC, wala na din na ganahan si estudyante, negative na gud na siya tanan sa iyang klase. Mao gunay ang gisulti sa research. Katag na gani ni imong VC, asa guni pangitaon ning assignment, matarantar na, asa guni pangitaon ning assignment, asa guni i-submit, and so on and so forth. Wala na, di na jud. no? So it reduces anxiety. Maunay maka-anxiety sa mga estudyante kanang dili maayo pagka-design ang atuang virtual classroom. Pero og hapsay gani pagsulod dito hapsay, diri ra nako i-click. Lami kay ang feeling, no? Lami kay ang feeling nga mauna ni. I think makarelate man ta no kanang adto ra gud ta og website nga katag di jud ta ganahan, di ba? And then labi na or mo attend ta og seminar or workshop nga katag di na jud ta ganahan mo perform, di ba? That's also the same is true with our learners. So in summary, highlights nako in when we plan and prepare for our online teaching strategy. Let's review enhancement ba or transformation, substitution, redefinition, modification, and transformation. Classroom interactivity, access, motivation, socialization, collaboration, production, and so on. Synchrony distribution, the word is bichronos. Ayaw na si, ayaw na purely sync, purely async, but it should be bichronos learning. And then the last one is, let's make our virtual classroom well organized. Kay para everyone is happy. So how to do all of this? Kaning gipang-ingon nato nga classroom interactivity, synchrony distribution, classroom organization, kato akong mga example. Si Sir Fredly, siya ang demonstrate hands-on ning kang Sir Fredly. Gitistingan gud ni akong instruction ani niya, ayaw pakita if wala ka ka-testing. Amo guning gipang testingan tanan nga kabalumi it will work. So mo-work jud ni siya bisan para sa K to 3, no? So I will turn over the screen to Sir Fredly to talk about all of this as part of the integration to increase interactivity in our virtual classroom. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dave.
Oh, by the
For
way,
share-
basin gamay na apay mga pangutana before we will proceed.
Okay. Questions? If you have question, you can use the raise hand icon in the Zoom.
Kay pwede man pud og usaon na ni siya nato towards the end or before ta mo closing in the morning. Kay basong inyo mga question matubag na ni Ma'am In kay naa na si Ma'am In iyang mga examples. Okay? Sige Fred, dagang salamat Fred. And I'll see you later.
Thank you, Dr. Dave. So thank you for sharing the online teaching strategies, the planning and preparation. So now we have two subtopics under organizing resources to stimulate interaction. Since you already plan out and prepare the lesson, so we will do that one in our My Soul platform. So I will share my screen first. Okay, can you see now the screen? Give me a virtual thumbs up. If you can see the screen.
We see it, sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. So for this point, I will give a short overview regarding my presentation today. This will tackle about the book or the resource type of My Soul in displaying lessons of the week. And then we have the URL or the usage of the URL address of that particular file. And then we have the restriction and completion with regards to what certain activity that we need to adopt regarding restriction and completion. And lastly, we will do some PLD, the basic PLD, in line with the activity done by your learners. So for now, for example, this is the overview of my discussion for this session. So example, I have a sample virtual classroom of K+3. So I will just simply click my virtual classroom. And then since you already plan out and then you have your preparations regarding your topics. So for instance, if you have you can chop the sections. I'm talking about the contents or the table of contents in our MySoul by week or by topic. So for easy access regarding navigating your MySoul virtual classroom, my suggestion is that you should done it by weekly. So for example, this is your introduction that talks about the topic or uh, showing of images or welcome message. So you can include that one in the introduction. And for the start of the lesson, make it sure you use the bulb icon to make it in current mode or the landing page once they open your virtual classroom. So for example, in week 1, if you prefer, that's the naming convention. If you would like to have a week 1 and then the date, so you can include that one. So for example, week 1, it's February 21 to 25, 2022. So that's the scope for that particular section. So every section, introduction, and then here, week 1, has its own course page. So this will be the course page or the page that the learners will see if once they open that particular section. So that's the course page. So for example, I have here 2 book resource. Okay, so all the lessons are in book. So example, Monday lesson, and then the contents. And then example, Tuesday lesson, then the contents. Mas syada ni siya kumpara kung ato ni siyang i-individual siya by section. Kay mas ang sa book is pwede ka dinhi makabutang og mga para siya all in one na siya. So kumbaga dinhi mo ibutang mo mga activities, ang gamiton lang is kato lang mga link. And then kanilang siya, so for example lang kani siya. So example ni open ka og lesson. So this is Monday. So sa overview, pwede ka maka-include og image and then text. Kung medyo kung naa kay YouTube channel, so pwede nimo i-incorporate og video. But make it sure URL video lang siya, pwede siya mong gawas sa another screen, like mato siya sa YouTube. So silbi naka YouTube channel and then i-copy paste lang ang iyang URL address. Okay? So kanilang siya sa overview of the lesson is nasa gamay image and then nasa gamay text. But usually maboard man dyan ang bata kung pura text. So i-incorporate ninyo ang image. So using Canva or other photo editing tools. And then we have objectives of the lesson. So i-incorporate ninyo, kani siya is medyo para siya pag college type or mga grade up na, grade 6 up. So pwede niyo siya by text lang siya. Pwede mo siya i-incorporate of images showing your objectives or a short video clip will do. And then you have here example first subtopic. So example here sa akoon is gabutang ko topic title and then ga-incorporate ko og image. This is plain image. And then ga-incorporate ko og video. So for example, naa mo'y video channel. So inyo lang i-add ang URL and then i-play na sa bata. And then here, kani siya, this is a call to action. So kani siya, pag i-click na ko ni, punta ni siya sa akong file. Nag-save na ako sa akong Google Drive. So example, magama lang mo o read more or bisag download this one. So bisag inyong nawong and then inyong tangagamay animation, nga agapa proof nga naamoy buhaton or ang learners is nay buhaton read more or i-download ni nga file. So example kaning read more, pag click sa read more, mo redirect siya to another page nga which is naa diya ang inyong file. So example kani siya is ako ni siyang sa email ni nako. So kailangan of course mo open ko sa akong email. So para ma-access na ko ang kaning nga file. So once na-access na, then pwede na makitaan sa bata ang file nga attached ani. Again, for privacy sa inyong mga intellectual property, so you can save that one sa inyong Google Drive. So here, muna siya ang sa topic. And then, kaya sa Japon siya, you can incorporate images, video, or the URL address. Clickable. So, ang book, dili lang siya kung baga, kuha nato nga, for text, text lang siya. But here, you can add images, videos, and then call to action nga mga buttons. And then, ang daugo na siya sa pag-hyperlink sa atong file. Kani siya is naka-hyperlink ni siya sa akong Google Drive. So for example here, napagod din sa 3 basic food groups worksheet. So example, sa akong book na adin po naka-include ang activities sa mga bata. So ako na i-click. And then pag-click na ko diya, so example, i-click na ko ning download the worksheet. So mo redirect siya to another tab. And then iyahang i-download ning worksheet. And then here, kani is mo submit siya activity. Pag-click aning submit the worksheet, so pag-click ana mo redirect siya to submission type. So iyahan na lamang i-add submission. So for example, mo add siya submission and then mo go back siya. So pag-click niya back, so pasabot ana mo go back siya sa iyahang book. Okay? So inana na siya nga part. But kana siya gidaog na siya sa mga URL. Okay? So asa iyahang course page. Later on ipa-show ta mo giunsa to siya. And then paggahuman na siya sa last part and then mutanaw na siya sa pinaka last part sa book. So pag-click niya lesson summary, so naay PLD ni gawas. Na thank you for reading for this topic. And then pag i-close na niya, so ma-redirect siya og another page nga nagpa-hatag niya nga okay. Wani siya ang silbi kay sa PLD, it's plain text man siya. So kani siya it's a page. So kung baga humana sila tas ato, so muna ilang makitaan. So mo back na siya, then para mo go back sa original na page. So in short, inana nga process is nahumanan nila ang Monday lesson kay na-check naman siya na naman siya check mark. And then makaproceed na siya kay ato man siyang gi-restrict, makaproceed na siya humana siya Monday lesson 1, ani na po siya sa lesson 2. So inana ang concept sa akong i-discuss karon. So we will talk about the book resource para sa atong lesson o ang URL address sa kada mga activities nga atong himuon. And then we have restriction and completion sa particular activity in book, and then we will do the PLD pod. So we will revolve around book. Okay? So here I will go to the teacher view. So here, okay, can you see now the screen? Give me a virtual thumbs up. Okay na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Doc. So here, for example, nata sa teacher na side. So kato siya nga side, akong gipakita ganina is sa student view to siya. So sa teacher na side, so click ta sa atong virtual classroom. And then here, this is ato din gi-arrange according sa atong plan, and preparation is done by week. So we have Monday and then Tuesday. So for example, maghimo ta og book resource. So kinsa nay naka-try sa book resource, you can comment sa chat box kung nakatry naghimo sa book resource sa My Soul. Type rag yes kung naka-try na sa book. Okay. So, I guess mo recap lang ta. Okay, saon paghimo og book. Okay. So, pagkuan sa book resource, so for example, make it sure na amo sa inyohon nga section. So, section means pasabot topic, section or part diya sa table of contents sa inyong virtual classroom. So, for example, nako sa week 1, and din hinako i-include ang mga book sa Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, anton mahuman ang week. So, I've done with Monday and Tuesday. And then, for example, maghimo kog laing book for Wednesday. So, mo click lang ta o create learning activity. And then, since instructional material man siya, so ato ta sa resource. And then, mo pili ta og book. Okay? So, pag-click sa book, of course, ang sa book, inyohong ibutang ang title sa book. So, this is the example Wednesday. So, mo ni siya ang title. So, inana siya nga part. Sunod is sa description. So, sa description, you can add images. Okay? You can add images or plain text or as a short video clip. So, ang sa pinakamas sayon ra is pwede lang siya mo-add ang tao mga images. So, for example, I will browse. Kung mo-add kog image, so I will click the image icon and then browse repositories and then make sure kabalo ka asa mo gi-save ang imong mga pictures. So for example, ako lang gamiton kani. For instance, this is showing my topic. Okay, this is the image. So I will just click open and then upload this file. So you can resize it. So just click the image. So makita lang siya ang pop-up. Makita lang Sir Steve ang pop-up ng image. Okay. So thank you. So example here, ako lang siyang i-resize like 200. Example, you can save that image and then nanakay title sa book, nanakay description, so mo adjust ka na po sa settings sa book. So ani ka sa appearance. So sa appearance, ang chapter formatting. So ato na siyang ibutang lang og indent. Okay? Pili lang tag indent. Kay para kita na makahimo ganahan ta mabutangan nato mga picture or icon or silbi like Roman numeral number 1 or subtopics. So para kita magpagusto, atong gamiton ng ana is i-indent lang nato. Kay kung dili man jud siya i-indent, automatic man siya 1, 2, 3, 4. So indent lang para ma-customize nato ang chapter formatting. And then style of navigation. So ato ang ganahan is ang table of contents lang mo mo go through lang siya sa table of contents. And then, so natong buhaton is anhit ka sa activity completion. Okay? So activity completion, so dapat kani siyang do not indicate activity completion, di wala na siya pake. Like for example, ang learners ana pwede lang di lang siya mubasa ani. So di na siya maka-indicate kung unsay dapat buhaton ba. Walay markings kumbaga. So walay check nga green. So kanang students can manually mark the activity as completed. So siya mo mark na okay nakabasa na ako. I-click ka na ako ning check na icon. Kaning last is show activity as completed when conditions are met. Meaning ani na-execute niya ang ganahan akong gusto mahitabo. So example, kung mupili ka na ikatulo, so mo dyan among suggestion ang ikatulo, and then require view. So mo ni siya ang condition. So student must view the activity to complete it. So entire jud siya para maka-complete. And then since naman naman ta sa Monday, Tuesday, and Monday, Tuesday, so ato siyang i-restrict. Okay? So mag-restrict na ta. So example, pag-restrict na to, mo-click ta og add restriction. So una tong condition, if, of course, naman na siya og tan-aw sa Tuesday lesson, kumbaga. So example, padulong na ta Wednesday. So activity completion. So una ni siya is activity completion, and then ato lang siyang ibulong ang Tuesday nga book. Okay, mo ni siya ang activity nga gihimo sa learners. And then kana siya is na kompleto na siya according sa imong condition. So okay na siya ang first nato nga condition. Ang ikaduha, pwede po nato dungagag another restriction. So ma-open na siya ani nga date. So example kani nga date nga restriction nato, ma-open ni siya pagka February 21, 2022. So day, the month, and then the year. And then don't forget military time ni siya. So example, ma-open na siya by 9:50. So mupili lang ka og 9:50, and then mauna na siya. So in short, sa book nato naatanan, okay? So ang naa din is book, we have the restrict access, and then we have the activity completion. So for instance, na natay title sa book, na natay description, and then ang visibility, kung gahimo pa jud ka, ako adjong i-suggest nimo kung di pa guna siya napakay mga revisions, so ato siyang i-hide sa students, so hide from students. And then ang inyong timan-an, ang appearance, ang chapter formatting is indented, and style of navigation is TOC or table of contents, only mag-revolve lang siya ana, clickable. And then sa restrict access, atong gi-restrict access kani nga book sa Wednesday, una dapat sila nakabasa sa Tuesday nga lesson. And then dayon ma-open pud siya pagka February 21 with that specific time. So duha atong restrictions. And then ang ikatulo, ang activity completion. So my suggestion, if in every activity, kung kanang activity is good for automatic lang siya, so kaning last ang piliun nato, show activity as completed when conditions are met. Ang conditions na nato is dapat mabasa nila or makumpleto nila okay ang ato nga book. Sumura na siya ang condition. So paghuman na sa book settings, so mo click na ta og save and display. Okay, para mag-start na ta og unsa ang content nato. So for example, save and display button, i-click na to. So mo redirect jud ta sa unang nga content nato. So for example, this will be the overview of the lesson. So make it sure kamo ni magbuot kung unsa ang content. It could be video, plain text. So example kana sa overview of the lesson, since naka-plan out naman ko, so ako ang buhaton is I will just simply copy and paste. So for example, this is the overview of the lesson. So Sir Steve, makita lang ang akong icon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ako lang icon sa entire screen lang nako kay di man makita. Okay. So here, makita lang ang Word file, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for example, kay naka-plan out naman mo, so inyo ang button is just simply copy and paste. Okay? So for example, una na ko ipakita is mo-add ko og image para di ma-board ang mga estudyante. So click ra kog image and then make sure kabalo ka asa nga location. So for instance, kani siya nga kaning image. So I have here, so kani nga image. And then upload lang, and then you can resize. So example, kana siya. And then you can save the image. So muna na siya, plain image na siya. And then you can incorporate lang sa inyo. Pwede mo mag-Canva, showing your face, and then do the editing sa photo. Editing na siya, showing your overview of the lesson or just plain text. But again, make sure kabalo mo sa inyong target audience kung good ba siya, like you know your audience na or what type of learners para di siya sila ma-board. So again, kani siya, it's plain text sa akong gibutang and then ang image. And then ako na siyang is save changes. So we are done with the first content sa ato nga book. So pag add og content, click ka ta og turn editing on. And then mo click lang ta og plus sign. So for example, this will be the objectives. Of the lesson. So again, sa content, kamo na magpagusto kung butangan ninyo ang content ba ninyo, it's plain text or plain image or na video, kung paano of making video. But ang kanilang sa video, may suggestion, since K+3 man ni siya, so pwede lang sa YouTube ang video para makita din sa mga bata ang video nga inyong hinimo dinhi sa atong My Soul nga page. Dili na sila mo redirect adto pa sa YouTube. And then kung di mo ganahan sa YouTube, of course pwede pod ang inyohon nga video that gi-save ninyo sa inyong Google Drive, but make it sure na may icon na click here to view that particular video. And then you save changes. So for example, na mo yung mga subtopic. So example mo ni siya ang arrangement. Kung na mo yung subtopic, so mo click lang mo og plus icon. This is to add a chapter or to add content. So for example, I will add one subtopic. For example, this will be so kung mo subtopic mo, so click ng sub-content. Okay, kay automatic siya mo alignment niya, mo padulong siya kung asa siya nga subtopic na paingon. So for example here, example lang ni siya nga topic. And then here muna sa akong one subtopic, and then I will just copy the contents na gusto na ko ipakita sa mga learners. So for example, na ako ipakita na kani siya, again kaning nga page is, kaning book is pwede ninyo ni siya matunga, okay? Matunga. So example, makita mo ani kaning bootstrap grid. Makita lang Sir Steve. Example kaning bootstrap grid, so atong tungaon. So example natin yung mga portion, kung unsa siya, equal portion. So for example, akong ganan is kanilang equal lang siya. So kaning 2 columns lang nako ning page. So click ana, and then sunod is just simply copy paste kung unsa inyong ganahang ipabutang or content. So example kaning column 1 na ko ipakita nga image. So ako ang i-browse. So example, image, so dapat kabalo mo kung asa ang location sa inyong image. Kaya inyo naman siyang gi-plan out. So kabalo na dyan mo kung asa. So example here, ako lang butangan siya o resize na ko. Or medyo dakon lang na to. Okay. So I will save that particular image sa column 1. Pwede po ninyo ni siya ma-format atong ipa-center. And then here, ang column 2. Ang column 2 is ato ni siyang ibutang. Example, video din So copy rata sa video. So for example, kani nga video. So here, this is the video. And then, kung ganahan ka, og naay file, this is in the form of the URL. So, muadra ka og specific nga icon. Like, for example here, para makabalong nga, clickable na siya or nasila i-click. So, example, muad ka og image. So, example, I will add image, I will browse. And then here, so example, kanina siya nga image. And then I will just simply resize the image. So that's the image. Okay, and then I will add some call to action button. So from that image, so I will add. Okay, so I will add particular image again. So this one, and then I will choose this read more icon. And then here, like example, like 250 ang image. So just click the save image, and then inani na siya ang iyahang structure. So kung ganahan ka, o i-link nato ni siya sa imong Google Drive. So make it sure kabalo ka sa link sa imong Google Drive. So for example, okay. So example here. Okay, aning ka sa imong Google Drive. So for example, so make it sure kabalo ka sa file name. Okay, so example kani di man kaganahan jud YouTube, so imong Google Drive. So here, so imo na siyang i-right click. So example, this is in PDF, right click, and then get link. Okay, get link. And then pwede mo siya Silliman University or basig lain ilahang email gigamit, so you can click po sa anyone with the link. So it's up to you. Okay? So example, I will copy this one and then click the done. And then I will just simply click this particular icon. Nibalik po sa ako nga my soul nga virtual classroom. I will click this image, the read more, and then I will just click the URL. Okay, click the URL, and then I will check the open in a new window. Okay, and then I will just simply paste my URL address. Okay, so gikan sa Google Drive. And then I will just click the create link. And then once you're done, you can save changes. Okay, this is sub-content. So save changes. So in ani na siya ang iyahang gawas. Kumbaga, you have your overview of the lesson, objectives, and then we have the first subtopic. So this is plain text, and then ang plain video, and then we have a sort of read more or additional readings. But make it sure na dapat ninyo siya i-organize kung unsa dapat ninyo ipakita sa estudyante. Dili lang siya purely image tanan, text tanan, but variety na siya ang inyo ipakita. Pero dapat po dili po siya magbalik-balik kung unsa ang content. Okay? So it's up to you, and make it sure inyong nakabalo mo sa inyong target audience. Okay? And then pag gumanaan na, so example na ko subtopic ng usa. So ang atong gibuhat karon is we are making book, and then we add restriction to it, and then activity completion. And then, for example, i-incorporate niyo ang mga activities. So, example, i-incorporate niyo ang activities nga in the form of assignment or in the form of quiz, pwede na siya. So, for example, mo edit mo. So, nanata sa editing mode, kani siya. Makita niyo na turn editing off. So, mobalik ta sa iyahang structure na di na pwede ma-edit. Kung turn editing on, so makita na nato ning 5 ka buttons. Kaning plus is to add the chapter, icon, i-hide na siya nga content, trash bin nga icon, i-delete na siya nga content, and gear icon, ato na siyang i-edit. Okay? And then kaning mga arrow, muna siya ang arrow up, move up, ang iyahang arrangement kumbaga sa inyohon nga content. So for example, mo add ta dinhi og another content. Okay, this is in the form of sa atong worksheet ni siya. Okay, so we will click here, add another chapter. So example, din ni siya sub-content, so ato ni siyang i-uncheck. So example, this is a worksheet kumbaga. Worksheet 1. So, example sa worksheet 1. So, example, add tag image. So, example, nasa legamon nga activity din hi. So, ilang buhaton is i-download ang worksheet. Okay? So, example mo, incorporate ta og image. So, here. So, example, download the worksheet. So pag attach ana, so atong gamiton ang file nato kung asa na save. So una is i-select nato ang text nga download the worksheet. And then sunod ato sa medyo padak-an nato kay para maggamay siya. So i-select nato na siya sa ato sang padak-an. So example kani siya. Okay, gilarge na ako ang yang font. And then, mo click ta or mo add ta or mo attach ta og file. So, we will click the kaning chain nga icon. This is the link. And then, mo open ni siya og new tab. Dapat mo open og new tab. And then dili URL ang atong gamiton but ang file mismo nga naa sa atong nga computer. So mo browse sa taog repositories and then atong i-choose kung asa to siya nga file. So for example, kani siya mo ni siya ang activity nga himuon dapat sa mga learners. This is in PDF form or image form nga mo ni still be i-print sa mga parents para gamon na siya nga worksheet. So I suggest nga pwede ninyo siya i-PDF na siya kaysa sa image. I-PDF form ninyo ang inyong worksheet. And then example here, open and then upload this particular okay, na-attach na siya. So kato nga image or PDF file, na-attach na to. Once i-click nilang download the worksheet, automatic ma-redirect siya to another page. So, and then sunod, submission na punta, kumbaga. So sa submission, so mo-add na punta og another image. And then, example kani siya nga image for submission. And then, upload this image. So medyo sa first is kutijod siya but kung na-master na nimo siya nahinay, so dali radyo di siya. Okay? So mananatag download the worksheet. So sunod na pud nato ni siya is i-attach nato ni siya sa atong nga activity or submission. So this is in the form of assignment. So example here, submit the worksheet. So, ato ni siyang padak-an. Okay, padak-an nato ni siya. So, for example, atong ipa-large. Okay. So, nanataan na. So, here, sayo na ni siya mo open lang tag another tab. Okay, since mo ni atong editing tab for the book and then mo open tag another tab sa ato japong soul. Okay. So, dapat naka-plan out na mo daan. So for example here, sa inyong topic, since na naman gi-create ng assignment, example na naman gi-create ng assignment, kani siya kumbaga sa assignment ninyo, inyong buhaton is inyong i-click ang assignment. Okay? I-click ang assignment, dayon, muna ni siya ang content sa assignment. Inyo nang kopyaon na nasa taas, kani mo ni siya ang URL, address, papunta sa inyong assignment nga activity. Okay? So right click and then simply copy lang or Control S, Control C and then balik ta sa atong gipang edit. And then here ato ang silbi i-select and then i-click na to using the link icon and then ato lang siyang i-paste. Right click and then paste. So mao ni siya ang link nga papunta sa assignment. So di nato ni ipa-new tab kay daghan namang new tab. So iyang i-cover. So once they click the submit the worksheet, i-cover niya ang imohon nga silbi book sa iyahang assignment. Okay? Kaya tong buhat ato ganina o gipakita nako ganina. So mo click at create link and then save changes. Okay? Kung baga inani ang kinagawasan niya. So pag-click na ko sa download the worksheet, so automatic mo new tab. So example, i-download na sa estudyante para iyang i-do ang imong activity. And then kaning submit the worksheet, so pag-click na ko submit the worksheet, automatic mupunta siya sa activity. Okay? And then diya sila mo submit. And then, of course, sa imong activity, kay wala man ni siya navigation, so dapat pagbutang po kag navigation icon nga mopunta pud siya sa main page. Okay? Pag-click ana siya or mapunta siya sa kaning part. Okay? So inana siya nga part. So for example, kato siya it's more on copy paste sa mga URL links nga kani. So example kung unsa akong gipasabot og main page. So kani. So for example, this is week 1. So mao ni siya dapat inyong kopyaon nga URL sa inyong nga image kung asa siya mobalik. Okay? So pareha sa atong gibuhat ganina. Like kani atong gi-click sa Monday lesson. So sa Monday lesson, pag abot niya dinhi, so sa summary or dinhi sa iyang worksheet, pag-click niya sa submit the worksheet, okay? Mobalik siya diya sa iyang book. Kumbaga, katong ganina pod, inyo po to siyang gamiton nga mobalik siya dinhi nga URL by the use of kanira jud siya, simple lang, kanilang kopyaon lang ninyo kung asa siya dapat mo transition. So, pwera na siya og copy paste pero gidaog lang siya sa mga icons. Nga mura pog so kung makita ninyo is kada activity is gihide sa nako siya available but not shown on course page. So pasabot ani dinhi makit-an sa mga estudyante. Okay? Ang makita lang nila is submit katulang submission nga button nga kanilang ilang makit-an. Like kanilang ilang makit-an, submit the worksheet, then kani siya, and then mo attach lang sila og submission, but this na makita tong assignment nga part. So pasabot ana nakahuman na sila, of course na kay PLD pod kung nahuman sila sa assignment. So ang atong gibuhat ganina is just simply adding contents sa book resource and then pag transition by the use of the URL address by the use of this one, the URL address sa kada section or kada course page nga atong sudlan kung asa sila mo transition. And then we do the activity completion and then the restriction. So now maghimo ta og PLD, okay? Personalized Learning Designer. So how to make that one? So una is nanamoy book, nanay mga sources, nanapoy mga transitions, so okay na siya. So ang kuanon lang ani is mag PLD na ta. So mo click la ka og gear icon sa imong main page, gear icon, and then you do the PLD, Personalized Learning Designer. Okay? So, una-ana, so for example here, I will add a rule. So, ang sa PLD mo start is mo add a rule ka or mo create ka PLD. Okay, so add a rule, click mo na siya. And then, unsa na siyang PLD. So, example, this is Wednesday PLD. So sa PLD, so unsa ang events? So for example, ang event ani is for example, humana siya tan-aw sa book 3. So na ako'y PLD nga, okay, thank you for reading the lesson 3, so and so on for the Wednesday. So ang events nimo ana is events, mupili kag event type. So I will choose the activity completed. Okay? Since mo man ni siya ang atong gibuhat sa atong book, natay activity completion. So unsa ang activity type? So we will choose the book. Unsay ngalan sa book? So we will choose Wednesday. Okay? And then mo click ta og add. So nanatay mo triggering para siya og triggering device, like pag nahumanan na sila ani nga ang activity or nabasa na nila, so unsay ganahan nimong ipahibalo sa imong learners. So ato na daan mo jump na tadaan sa actions. Okay, naman tay events, so muna ang triggering nato nga action. So mo anita sa actions is muni ang output, okay? Kung unsay makit-an sa mga bata. Pwede ka magpa-display alert or na mo pop up na message sa imong virtual classroom or pwede po ka mo send og email. But ang atong target audience ani is K+3 man, so dapat makita na sa virtual classroom. So for example here, example mo display kog alert message kumbaga. So display kog alert message, ang display alert message is intended only for text ra siya. Okay? So click kag add. And then, imo ng content sa message. So example, hi. You can personalize the content. Hi. And then, you will use the insert token. So dinhi siya, natay gitawag nga user token, course token, activity token. So atong gamiton lang is ang user token or profile ni siya sa learner. Atong gamiton ang iyang first name. So hi. And then iyang first name. Then sunod, like message nimo, thank you for reading. And then ato siyang ibutang ang book title. So upili ta ni nga activity. Activity na siya nga type na book ang iyang kani nga activity token. Ang name diya ga specify nga mo ni siya ang book title. So click that one, then you can add an exclamation mark, and then you can personalize. Again, this is plain text lang siya. Alert text or alert message. You cannot incorporate images. And then you click the save button. Okay. So to save the entire PLD, since naman na nakag-events o actions, so dapat po is click nimo ang save button. Okay. So make it sure kay daghan naman kang gipang activate na PLD, make it sure lang po kung humana na siya, humana na example ang Monday lesson, wala din siya i-activate. So ato na siyang i-disable. Okay? Kay ang condition ana is always run. So kay base niya pag open sa imong virtual classroom, garan dyan pa imong PLD. So kung humanan na siya, so ato siyang i-deactivate. So mo click ra ta ning gear icon and then we will disable the rule. So disable na siya and then proceed na siya ning na Wednesday nga activity. So for example, muna na siya. So unsaon na siya, unsay panglantaw na sa mga estudyante. So mo shift ta o role to student. So para makita nato ang unsa ang transition. So example here. Sir Steve, makita lang Sir Steve. Makita lang. Okay. So we are in the student mode. So example here, ang Monday na wala na ko basa. Sa Tuesday wala pa. Of course, din ako ma-open ang Wednesday kay naka-restrict man siya. Nga dapat basahon nimo ang food pyramid. So example here, Tuesday. So gatan-aw na ko. So mauna ni siya. So for example, ako nang gitan-aw. So okay na ni siya. Mobalik ko. So manan na siya ang Tuesday. So anhin ako sa Wednesday. Dayon makita na nako ang content for Wednesday. Kay humanan naman ko og tan-aw. So muna ni siya ang topic. So for example here, pag Wednesday, i-click na ko ni siya. And then muna ni siya ang topic. So dapat ako ni siyang i-go through. And then here, and then kani i-go through na ko and then makita na ko og message. Mo ni siya ang atong gibuhat ganina, display alert. So plain text lang siya, mo ni siya ang PLD once nga nahumanan na ang activity or pagbasa sa resource. So you can do that sa book book style, or any other activity. Pwede po na siya quiz, pwede po na siya assignment kung nahumanan na. So for example, mabalik ta sa teacher. Okay. Kung sa teacher, kailangan po man-notify po ang mga estudyante kung nipasa sila assignment niya, nasa yung notification nga galing sa teacher. Na okay, thank you for submitting your work. So for example, mumani akong assignment, okay? This is 3 basic food group worksheet. Muna siya akong assignment, diya sila mong submit. So, kung saan na siya pag personalize sa mga learners na nakasubmit kung sa ilang madawat o sa wala nakasubmit. So, in ani nga part, so here, mo click Japon tag gear icon, muhimo ta og PLD, Personalized Learning Designer, sa nakasubmit na sa ato nga assignment. So balik ta sa rule. So na nakoy duha. And then mo-add ko og another PLD. So add a rule. And then example kani siya is nakasubmit sa worksheet. Don't worry kay kaning rule name is sa teacher ni makita. Okay, din siya sa estudyante. Din siya makita sa estudyante. So, ang events nato dinhi is dapat dapat ang events nato mopili tag event type, dapat activity completed. Okay? And then here mopili ta og assignment. Ato nang tawon. Assignment. Okay, assignment. And then here atong lantawon ang activity nato sa assignment. So mo ni siya ang title. And then ato ang i-click. Click add. So example na complete na siya sa assignment. So unsay iyahang gawas or unsay makitaan sa learners. So mo hatag ta og message. Na example, actions done. Sa actions done, again, pwede ka muhatag og display alert, sending email, or go to that specific activity. So example here, kani siya akong part is alert lang siya. So I will just click the add and then hi, and then personalize the first name, and then comma, and then your message. Your message, and then you click the insert token, and then you customize na pod. So activity name sa assignment, and then here this is just a plain text, and then you click the save button. And then to save the entire process, don't forget to click the save button pag last na sa actions. Again, ang ato nga condition diya is always run. Okay? So pasabot lang ani mo ni siya nga part. Okay? Mo submit si learner, then maka-receive siya ani nga message. Okay? So for instance, we go through atong ilang tawon sa student nga view. So for example here. So kung ako si student, so example Monday lesson 1. So since na-organize naman ni siya, and then na-add ni ang activity. And then I will just click the submit the worksheet. And then mo ni siya ang activity, and then I will just add submission. And then I will add a file. So for example, this is the file. Then open and then upload this activity and then save changes. Okay. And then submit assignment, okay? Para mugawas ang PLD na siya, okay? So inana siya nga part, wala pa kay di pa siya kompleto nga submission nimo, so wa pa di pa mugawas ang PLD. Once nga na-complete na siya, usa pa siya mugawas nga mo ni siya ang notification nga okay, naka-save na jud ko. Nakakuha na jud like example na humana na jud na nag-siya notification nga gikan sa teacher nga hi blah 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 learners, thank you for submitting. So kabalo ang learners nga okay, mananakos assignment nako, okay? And then di na pud makamodify si student. And then mo go back na siya. So basically, inana ang concept. Sa ako lang gipakita ninyo is siya all-in-one tanan. But again, depende ni siya. Like inyong book is inyong gigamit is for displaying the lesson. Pwede na siya. And then i-separate ninyo ang assignment or quizzes na activity. Pwede na siya. As long as ma-organize lang ang contents for the lesson in book lang siya. Kumpara label lang siya ipakita kay easy sa mga bata pag-access. But again, atong giingon ni Sir Dave is ang reality man good is si mama man good og si papa ang mutanaw sa content. So dapat lang siya ato siyang i-organize in the form of book, like Monday lesson, Tuesday lesson, and so on. So in that case, i-organize lang nato siya in book as well as kung ganahan nato i-separate like usara ang submission, muhatag po ta og assignment na portion. Assignment lang. Di na to i-include siya sa book. So para lang siya ma-organize lang siya in a way sa structure sa atong virtual classroom. So questions or clarifications regarding the book URL, restriction and completion, and PLD or personalized learning designer. Again, sa PLD, pwede ka add o welcome message. Like example sa welcome message for this week. So for example lang, I will add another PLD ka na lang pag-welcome message. So example, click ka sa gear icon and then PLD. And then here, add a rule. And then you will just add a welcome message lang siya for this week. Welcome message. And then ato lang siyang ibutang nga ang events nato or maka-trigger sa action. So example, pag mosulod siya sa atong virtual classroom. So course entered. Okay? So muna siya ang ato nga event type. Course entered. Pag mosulod siya ang learners, so unsa iyahang makit-an? So muhatag ta og alert message or you click the actions component and then muhatag ta og alert message nga ga-notify niya nga naa sa ani nga virtual classroom. Like hi, personalized Japo na to siya. Ang first name and then example, mao ni siya ang course token, mo ni siya ang inyong virtual classroom. So virtual classroom name and then so on. And then kung na pa yung additional nga message, so butangan po ninyo nga message pag welcome sa student or content. So you click the save and then here again para jud ma-save ang entire PLD, so click the save button. And then ang condition ana niya is always run. Okay? So remember, course entered ni siya ha. So kada sulod nila sa imong virtual classroom mo nilang makitaan una. So example kung Monday ron, so Monday dapat ni siya. Or Monday ang message para Monday. Para Tuesday po siya. Again, to edit sa PLD, click ra ka o gear icon. And then edit the rule or edit the settings. Kung ma-Monday na siya or Tuesday ba. And then here, so for example, add to ta sa student mode. So example, anita sa student mode. So for example, here we have virtual classroom. And then pagkita nila, so okay, mo ni siya ang welcome message nga imong gihimo. So mo ni siya ang PLD. Okay? So I guess that ends my
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can we make also a PLD for those students nga dili pa nakapass og assignments?
Yes, ma'am.
Reminder.
So kana siya, ma'am, unsay ganahan ninyo, ma'am, as a virtual classroom, ma'am, sa instead of
to remind
email?
them
Okay.
to do that
Okay.
to pass
Yes,
and submit that assignment.
So inani siya, ma'am, ang paghimo. So for example, makita ninyo, ma'am, ang kaninga screen. This is in teacher mode. Makita lang siya. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So anita sa gear icon. And then, muklik ta din sa personalized learning designer. And then, ang atong rule ana or PLD kanang wala nakasubmit.
Yes, sir.
So, not submitted. So, ang kuan ani ang notification ani is dapat mosulod sila sa imong virtual classroom. Okay?
Yes.
So, course entered, okay? Course entered na siya, ang event type, and then atong i-click ang add button. Ang atong conditions na punta, din na ta mo gamit og conditions. So, click tag conditions, dayon atong pilion ang activity completed, okay? Muna siya ang condition type. And then you click the add. So, muna siya, ang learner ba nakahumana na or wala pa? Kung wala pa, so has not. Para reminder nila, kumbaga. Okay? Has not. And then mo select ka o activity, kung unsa to siya nga activity. So, kato siyang activity, assignment man to siya. So, muna siya, ang activity type is assignment. And then, unsa to pangalan sa activity. So, example, kani siya nga activity. And then, mo click ko og save. Okay? So, muna siya akong condition. Katong wala nakasubmit, makakita sila kung unsa ang akong i-message. But kaning wala pa ta nahuman. Okay? So, ato ta sa actions na pod. Actions, and then ato siyang i-click na pod ang display alert. And then, click tag add. And then, i-customize na to. Like, hi, atong gamit ang first name, please do the activity. Please do the activity. Example lang.
Assignment. Yes, sir.
Assignment.
Yes,
ang title sa assignment, so activity token atong gamiton, so name sa assignment. So kana siya, and then we click save. Again, this is plain, kuha na ni siya, plain text. Okay? And then you click the save button para ma-save ang entire PLD. Okay. So, inana siya, ma'am, ang gawas niya.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay,
we are doing it one by one.
Kani siya, ma'am, automatic na ni siya. Like,
Yes,
example,
thank you,
pag kuha nila.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Sige, ma'am. So, pag sulod nila sa inyong virtual classroom, so ma-personalize ang message sa learner. Okay? So, mo to siya ang nakasubmit. Kung nakasubmit na din na siya, of course, dili na sila matagal og message na for not submitting the work. So, that ends the my topic about understanding the book importance regarding displaying the lesson in organized topics. as well as inserting URLs for that sections of a book resource, or pag linkage lang siya from Google Drive to YouTube channel, muna siya ang URL. And then the restriction and completion, of course, mo ni siya implement ni siya based kung what type of activity. Kani siya atong gibuhaton is bookman siya, so na siya mga na siya completion as well as the restriction. Ato siyang gi-restrict, it could be dapat mahumanas lagbasa or ana nga specific date and time. And then we also have the PLD, or Personalized Learning Designer. Itong welcome message and then mga notification na nakakahuman na sila o basa sa certain activity in the book. So I guess mauna siya. So questions or clarification regarding the part 1 demonstration? Questions or clarifications? So for now, I will turn the virtual floor to Mr. Jade Montemayor for the H5P part 1. Sir Jade, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you, Sir Fred. Good morning, teachers. Good morning, Dr. Bunyor, Ma'am Myla for the elementary school, and Ma'am Ethel for early childhood. So for my part, I will be discussing about H5P. So basically, this is just a recap of what we have been training from the past. At least for the time being, we will be talking about, particularly in H5P, the drag and drop function. So let me just share my screen. Okay, I hope, Sir Fred, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay, so just to give you a quick output as to what is the expected H5P activity for the drag and drop, there are multiple activities that can be applied for drag and drop. So this is just some of them. So like, for example, I have this one. So this is like a worksheet wherein the students are going to fill out the missing letter of the particular word. So we will be doing that one, and if we still have time, this one also it's like an arithmetic operations. So you have the numbers, and then the students basically just going to drag and drop the numbers to the right places, and we have the shapes. So we will first deal with this particular example wherein there is like a worksheet, and there are words and there are missing words, and the students are going to fill out the missing letters of those words. So how do you do that using H5P drag and drop, right? Sige. So in our course, since we are using the H5P version 2, so we cannot immediately create H5P in the course page. So what you're going to do is from the course itself. By the way, before we proceed, if I may ask, and have you tried using H5P in your virtual classrooms? If you have, kindly give me a thumbs up. Okay, we have Ma'am Sally. I cannot see. Yeah, I guess magdaghan naman ang gagamit ng H5P, no? So H5P is a very good content in terms of interaction from your content and your students, from your students to your content. So we will create an H5P drag and drop, and this will be the output. So how do we do that? So again, from the course page, go to your settings, course administration settings, and to the content bank. So unlike before, wherein you're going to create the H5P directly in the course page, so currently we will be creating the H5P in the content bank. So settings, and then go to the content bank. And from here, you can actually see all the H5P contents in your course, right? So currently, there has been no H5P content yet, so we're going to create one. So to create one, you have two options. It's either you upload a file or you create manually from the course itself. So currently we're going to create a manual H5P. So we're going to click add, and then we'll be looking for the interactive content, drag and drop. Scroll down, drag and drop, this one. Okay. So from this window, this is where we're going to set up our H5P interactive content. From the top, you have the title. So we will just be placing here drag and drop. So that's the title of our H5P content, right? And then for the actual drag and drop itself, you have two main tab. We have the settings wherein you're going to include the background, and then you have the task. So first, you should have a background for your drag and drop. And by the way, if I may say, before creating a drag and drop activity, you need to have an image, a background image first prepared before creating the actual H5P content. So for me, I already prepared the background. So I'm just going to add the background. Where is my plan? I'm just going to minimize some windows here. Okay, so to add a background, you simply click the add button here, and then it will open the Windows Explorer of your Files Explorer of your PC, and then I'll just be using this one. And then let me check. So you can go to task and check the resulting image. So as you can see, this is this kind of distorted, so we don't like it. We don't like that kind of distorted image as our background. So we have to adapt to the actual image size. So I will be opening the File Explorer, and then I will go to Downloads where the background is. And I will just hover the mouse to the image, and the dimension, it says 762 by 1168. So that would be my dimension of my image, right? 762 by 1168. So I will just change this to 762 by 1168. So that's the dimension of my background, and let me check. So it should be okay from here, right? So since our background is perfect now, then we can go to task. So you can actually click here, next step, and then it will proceed to task tab, or you can just click the task tab here in the upper portion. So I will just do that here. Okay, now take note that for drag and drop, you have two main functions. You have the drop zone. This is the zone where you're going to drop the actual elements. And then you have the elements. So for elements, you have a text element or an image element. So for the current example that we have, we will be using a text element, right? Since we will just be filling out missing letters of our worksheet. So first, we have to create the drop zones. So to create the drop zones, if you notice here in this particular window, on the upper left side, you have three main options. If you hover your mouse, you have add drop zone, text, or image. So what I've said, after the background, you need to have a drop zone, right? So just click this add drop zone. And then let's just say this drop zone is for, let me just go back, huh? This is for letter B, for the first, at least for the first missing letter is letter B, right? So I will create a drop zone, and I will just be labeling it letter B. That's it. And then, yeah, create. Done. So this is the created drop zone. Okay. All right. By the way, yeah, before we proceed, let's just have a 5-minute break first, and then let's be back. Okay. Sorry for that. So let's have a break first. Comfort room break, and then water break, or yeah, just let's have a break first, and then let's continue after 5 minutes. Thank you. Good morning once again. I hope everyone's back. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Thank you. All right, let's continue creating the drag and drop activity in our course. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so just to recap, what we did so far was we created a drag and drop H5P content from the content bank. And then earlier, we uploaded the background image for our drag and drop. So this is where we uploaded our background image. And then our next step is to create drop zones in our activity. So to create a drop zone, let me just remove this one first. To create a drop zone, you just have to click the drop zone icon here at the upper left portion of the H5P window, right? So the drop zone, this is where the students will be dropping the text or the image for this particular activity. So I will be creating a drop zone, and the label for this drop zone is just letter B, since I will be needing letter B for this particular drop zone. Done. So this is the drop zone now. I will just drag it over here, and then I will just make it bigger just to occupy the space for letter B. So this will be my drop zone for letter B. So that's one drop zones. I will be creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more drop zones for the other words. So again, to create a drop zone, just click the drop zone, and then for this one, for example, this is letter A, and then done. So for letter A, this will be the drop zone for letter A. Or you can also copy and paste the drop zone itself. Like for example, letter A, I'm just going to click it and then copy and paste. And this will be my drop zone for letter D for an instance, right? So I'm just going to edit this one, and I will change the label to letter D, and then done. So 3 more drop zones. This drop zone for letter E. Done. And then another drop zone for letter F. Done. And then last drop zone for letter C, cat. Okay. So that's how you create the drop zones for the drag and drop. Question so far? Yeah, I hope na-follow lang. Dali ra to siya kaayo to create a drop zone. Just click the add drop zone button here, and then you simply drag and drop the drop zone to where it's supposed to be in this particular page. Okay. So since we now have our drop zones, the next step would be to create the draggable items. In this case, the draggable items will be the letters itself, right? So to create the items, you will choose either a text or an image. Again, as what I've said, we'll be using text. So just press the letter T here, or the text button or icon here, and then you simply type your text. Let's just say this is letter A. And then if you notice, for an instance, let me just done this one, save it. And this is my draggable item. It's very small, right? So I have to adjust it in such a way that it's more or less the same with the other font size here. So I'm going to edit this one. I'm going to change the font size. Let's just say it's 45 maybe, the biggest one, and then make it bold. And then I will just change the color just to make it more like attractive to the children's, right? So let me check. And then my drop, I mean the letters, it should be, in terms of the drop zone, the letters should or can be placed in any drop zones. That's the objective, right? So okay, done. So here's our first letter, letter A. So if it's too big for you, then you can always adjust the size. Just make it 300, and then done. So this is our first draggable item, the letter A. And then we'll make another one. This is for letter B. And then again, in terms of the drop zones, all text elements, you should select all the drop zones. Done. Then letter C. what I'm doing is just I'm just copying and pasting the existing letters. Done. Letter D, and then done. 2 more. Letter E, done. And finally, we have letter F, right? So letter F here, and then done. Okay. So now that we have our drop zones and we now have our draggable items, which in this case are text, we are going to assign what item should be placed in what drop zone, right? So we will go back to the drop zones. For example, in this case, the drop zone for letter B, I'm going to edit this one, and you're going to assign the correct element that should be placed in that particular drop zone. So in this case, the element that will be placed in drop zone B should be the text B. So I'm just going to check text B and then click done. Okay. So for the D drop zone, we're going to edit this one and then choose the letter D as the item for that particular drop zone and then done. For the A drop zone, we will be using or choosing the text A. Then for the E, we have the text E. And then for the F, text F. And for the C, text C. That's it. So everything is set up. What you can do now is you can preview your interactive content. So we will be saving this one. I'm going to save it. And this will be the final output. So you have this worksheet and then you have your drop zones, you have your draggable items here. So the students are just going to drag the letters based on where they should supposed to be. So like for example, for bird, that's letter B. So just drag the letter B over here. And for the dog, that's letter D. Apple, letter A. And then elephant, that's letter E. And then fish for letter F and cat for letter C. Let's check. There. So it says perfect, right? So let me close it. Let's try misplacing the letters. So we will just be placing everything like that. And then let's check. So there you go. So that's how you create drag and drop, or that's how you create, drag and drop in H5P. In this time, we're just using text. Any question for that? Wala lang? Yeah, because it's just so easy in terms of,
Sir,
yes, ma'am.
how about if we add some audio for the letters like A, B, B?
Let me check, Mama, if we can do that for at least for drag and drop. We have there, here. We cannot do that for drag and drop, Mom. Yeah, there's no audio for at least for drag and drop. But other H5P contents, we can actually include the audio. I've tried image sequencing and we can include audio and image sequencing, but for drag and drop, we cannot, ma'am. There's no option for us to drag an audio. I mean to include an audio for the draggable items. We only have two options. It can either be a text or an image. Sige.
Okay, thank you, Sir Jade.
You're welcome, ma'am. Yeah, I think.
Sir, we have questions on the
Yes,
chat box.
sir. From the chat box, let me check. Where's the chat box? A question po, how do we place this in a book po? Okay, so how do we place, sige, how do we place the created drag and drop activity in a book? So earlier, Sir Fredly talk about the URL, right? You just copy the URL, just place it like you can place a picture, an image maybe, or a text in the book, and then you can just hyperlink that particular image or text to this particular drag and drop activity. So what we will do now, since Ma'am Credo wants to, or maybe I can demonstrate how do we create or how do we use the drag and drop activity that we just created and then link it in a book. So to use the drag and drop activity that you created in the content bank, what you will do is you're going to download it. Again, to use the any H5P content from the content bank, you need to download it first. So to download, you just open the H5P activity, and then here at the upper right side, there's a setting icon. You just click it, and then there's a download option here. So just click the download. So here's the file. It's in my downloads folder now. I will be going to the course that was used by Sir Fredly. So I'll just go ahead and search that course. Sample subject K+3. Okay. So this was the course that was used by Sir Fredly earlier during his session, right? So currently, the drag and drop activity that we created in my sample course is not here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it in this particular course. So I will be using topic, let's just stay with week 1. So to upload an H5P content, it's the same with creating one. You always have to go to the content bank. So settings and then content bank. And from here, as you can see in this particular course of Sir Fredly, naana siya 4 H5P activities, right? So what I'm going to do is instead of creating a manual H5P, I will be uploading a file. So I will be clicking upload now. And then I will be dragging the file here. I have 2 options. I can either choose a file using the file explorer, or I can just drag and drop the file. So since I have the file here, I'll just be dragging and dropping it here and then click save changes. So here's the H5P content that we created from my course, and it's now exported or imported in Sir Fredly's sample course. So since it's now in my content bank, I can just go back here in the course page, and then I can place it like, for example, here. I can create a learning activity, and then H5P. So let's just say this is a drag and drop. And then I'll be uploading the file here. And I will make it make available but not shown on the course page, right? So save. Same with the previous activities that was created by Sir Fredly. The option should be, it should be make available but not shown in the course page, because the link in going to this particular activity will be posted in the book. So I will be creating a screenshot for this one. Screenshot. Okay. It's not saving my screenshot. Let me just use the snipping tool. So I will be using the image and use it as a hyperlink, so that when the students click the image, they will immediately be redirected to the H5P activity. So let's just say we will put that in this book, the first book, right? I'm going to edit this, turn editing on, and I'm going to add a subtopic. Say this is H5P. Just I will just go back to the course page. I will copy the URL of the H5P content. Turn editing off. Okay. So this is it. I'm going to copy the URL. So this is the URL. So what Sir Fredly told earlier, you always have to copy the URL. And then here, go back to the book. and then turn editing on. I'm going to add the subtopic H5P. Just make it in uppercase. Okay. And then I'll just paste the URL first so that I will not lost it. And then I will be using the image here, and I will make it center. Sige, like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to hyperlink the image to that link, create link. Okay. And then save changes. And then turn editing off. So this is how it works in the student's view. I'm going to switch my role to student. So what the student can see now is just a course with just one topic. I mean two. We have the introduction and the week 1, which is February 21 to 25. So as you can see, under the first book, you have H5P subtopic, right? So when the students click the H5P subtopic, what they can see is the image. You can add instructions here to just click the image to answer or to interact with the H5P. That's fine. But in this case, I just have the image, and then when the student click the image, they will be redirected to the H5P activity itself, and then they can just go ahead and proceed with the activity. So that's how you incorporate an H5P content. Any H5P content, kumbaga, that's the process and how to use H5P in book. So we cannot directly embed the H5P in the book. Well, technically we can, but we actually disable that functions for some reason. But what we can do now is we can just link the H5P content from the book, then directly to the H5P content itself. So we can use words for the hyperlink. We can use images, or we can use videos for the hyperlink. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, I guess in terms of time, it's already 11:06, and we are just up. At least for my part, I'm just up until 11. So for the first part of H5P, that would be it for now. And yeah, I hope you learned something in terms of how to use the drag and drop functions of H5P. So in this juncture, Sir Fred.
Yes, Sir Jade.
Yes, sir. I am done with my part, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Jade, for sharing the H5P part 1. So now let's watch our virtual classroom showcase by Ma'am In. So I will just make you co-host, Ma'am.
To all of you. And then, pwede tang mo invite na siguro nila ni Ma'am Elaine or ni Ma'am in kung unsaon ni the how to really, because kami we can always do the technical, but siguro si Ma'am Elaine and then si Ma'am in can do all the katug yung very detailed process, no? So daghang salamat for doing that. And I think that's the end for this morning session. It's a very nice ending with all the showcases. It's so amazing with all those, and happy ra pud me from our end kay na-validate ang mga experimentation and simulations. I guess what we need this time really a proof how students are happy, no? Although kabalo jud ta nga ma-enjoy gid ang mga bata ug mga ingon ana, no? Because challenging really, because if you go for yeah, sige, go ahead, and then pwedeng on the technical part, pwede raming backup nila ni Ma'am In ug ni Ma'am Elaine, no? Backup ang sole office for the for the training. Okay, nindot nang from diha gyud, no? Kay para masundan nato kay lahi man nato ang mga perspective. Sige, naay mga pangutana. Time check, it's 11:45 and we will start at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Our afternoon, we will talk about the animating part, how to use images, videos, we can do that, no? And then we're planning, we just decided with Ma'am Alfie that I will talk first on the basic animation before Ma'am Alfie will discuss about using PPT. No? Exciting ni siya kay na ako i-produce karon lang. Very quick. No? And then, para lang atong ma-illustrate. No? Dili parehas ni sa ilahang Ma'am In, but at least we can demonstrate. And then in between that, another exciting showcase na sa ni Ma'am Betsy. And once again, daghang salamat for accepting our invitation. To illustrate lang more of the other side, no? Kay naapadyoy daghang pwedeng mahimo, and that will lead us to interaction, because at the end of the day, the main objective nila, ni Ma'am ni Ma'am Betsy, ni Ma'am Feby, ni Ma'am Elaine, for sure, ang ilang pinaka-ultimate goal is for interactivity, and they want their students to be engaged. I think, di ba? Agree, Ma'am and the team? And agree
Yes,
nga,
sir.
ang pinaka-ultimate goal nato is engagement of our students. Kay sa face-to-face dali ra manggudhoy dali sa mag-istorya ta. That now wala na siya, no? So ato na siyang buhaton diha. And then when we talk about engagement, there are many ways. There are many ways to kill a cat, di ba? So there are many ways to attack where to engage our learners. Then towards the end, bisan na pressure si Jade sa iyahang H5P, si padayon na gihapon, go na. Okay? So if walay pangutana, that's end for the morning session. We will see you at 1 o'clock.